everybody, and welcome to the Three Amigops podcast. We are a podcast that talks about the shit that matters. I'm your host for this week, Danny, and with me I have Justin.
Hello there.
And the always wonderful Matty Fredge.
What up, fuckboy?
Oh, that's not a very nice way to
I'm sorry, only Justin's
Are you too
fuckboy. You're
excited
good.
today, Matt?
I'm hyped.
Why are you hyped? I'm tired.
I'm hyped because PAX.
PAX was yesterday.
PAX hype train.
Yeah,
No,
we
the
went
PAX
to
20...
PAX East this past weekend. If you
PAX
did not
East
listen to
2015.
last week's podcast, where we talked a lot about what we wanted to see at PAX East, and right now we'll give you our impressions and what we did.
We walked a lot.
So, yeah, my legs hurt a lot. I you know those old like infomercial things where it's like, oh, you can have those stupid little like chair things you can take around with you.
You just sit
They're,
down
like,
when
two
you're
of
on
them
the
for
line.
like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually an instance in which it's useful
Mm-hmm.
because my legs were killing me in just about every line. Like at that point, like you see people like sitting down on the floor.
Yeah,
It's,
I did that a lot.
Painful.
I think I probably made it the worst for myself because I decided to, after walking around the convention center yesterday till 5 p.m., I decided to walk back to the hotel, then back to the convention center, just because I needed my luggage, which I should have brought to the convention center in the first place.
Yeah, not a good move. What me and Nick did where we checked
Crispy.
our bags in the hotel. Well, oh, I'm sorry, I can't call.
No, I'm
him
just
Nick.
saying, we were referring to him last week.
Oh, true. So Crispy, me and Crispy went back to the hotel, got our bags, and then we just took the same taxi. Like we were like, no, we're not walking anymore. Fuck this trip.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was extremely fun. Also, my voice feels really raspy. I think I'm a little sick from PAX.
I don't know. I didn't get sick last year. Didn't get sick this year.
Yeah,
I
know.
That was fine.
I sanitized. I went to the battlefield thing and I just like took a bunch of sanitizer.
Yeah.
I was
I'm not gonna
deathly
lie.
sick about 2 weeks ago. Actually, while I was recording the podcast, my voice was a little hoarse. So I kind of got the sickness out of the way before PAX. So
True.
I guess I was immune to all the
You
fanboys.
didn't catch that PAX plague.
Definitely.
No, I didn't catch the PAX plague.
Ooh.
I'm good.
Thankfully. I don't think we haven't. None of us have actually had that
Everyone
yet.
always
Like,
talks about how it's such a big deal, and like I remember Friday,
I-
like towards the end of the day, I'm like, oh no, I feel like sick, but I think I was just exhausted and my
Well,
body was just
I was feeling like
out of it.
I had kind of like a headache a little bit. But I just took like Tylenol and I was fine for the day.
yeah, I just the only time I felt bad was on Sunday night
But
when I was traveling.
I didn't
back,
have
and
like
I
a
was just
like
oh,
a
God.
fever or like I wasn't like sick. I was just like, oh wow, okay, my head hurts.
My head.
I think
hurts.
it was just like the whole PAX thing where we had long traveling except for Danny.
And there's also yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute because there's also like what is it like? How many people attend PAX East each year?
50
like,
to
what,
60,000.
50, 60,000, and that many people in that like the area of like a football field. That's about how big a convention center is, right? Maybe a little more than
Yeah,
that.
I would say that. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's surprising that most people would be like, "Hey, you're in a room that big with a bunch of nerds. Hey, it's gonna smell," and it really doesn't smell.
Yeah,
No, there are pretty ladies in costumes
yeah.
too.
The broder. That's what I call it. The broder.
The broder.
Bro and odor.
Do you
Combined word.
own
Broder.
that word?
Yeah, sure. I'll put a
Patent
trademark
pending?
on it right now.
I'm gonna patent broner, a bro boner.
A broder.
Well, what other context would?
Bro job.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Well,
don't-
that's already been an internet thing.
That I learned last year.
But yeah, the broder was not very strong. People were very sanitized. Good for you guys.
Is it still a broder if it's a woman?
That depends. Is she a bro?
I mean,
guess.
if she's a tranny, then yeah.
Then it's a broner.
It's broner or broder because you're.
I said broner.
Yeah, we're talking
the
about
first time.
broder.
Oh, I'm talking about broners. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you're getting pretty
Bro-
awkward there.
5 minutes of this podcast, we're already inventing words.
Yeah,
job, guys.
I'm an innovator in the
Scientology, am I
industry.
right?
Yo, that thing that doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
we were totally talking about Scientology. Are you? Alrighty.
Yo,
then.
guys, how about that? The Bears. Since we're just talking about random topics.
Yeah, I know.
I like bears. I like
Yeah.
trains. Hype train.
My name's Jeff.
Your name is Jeff?
All right, so let's actually get on topic.
I
to
like
back to PAX
turtles.
East.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mr. I want to host the show.
Exactly.
let's start off with how we got to PAX East. So
Oh yeah, that was That was a fun time.
We all traveled Thursday night, and Justin, your plan was to fly to Boston. Matt, you and Crispy, your plan was to take a train to Boston. Marco and Kyle's plan was to I believe also take a train, and my plan was to take a bus. And everything went well for me. I got there before my expected time. I took a bus at like I think it was like 12:30,
Well,
12:15.
we should give a little context to this. On Thursday, it was actually a pretty bad snowstorm on the East Coast, and we all live in New York, so we got a big majority of the snow that was supposed to happen.
At least you
and
did.
Because of that, a lot of our travel arrangements got a little bit messed up.
The remnants of Hurricane Thor were hitting parts of New York, and they hit Boston early Thursday morning, but they were gone by mid-afternoon. The roads were fine. The roads were actually really good for the most part. Just
train tracks were not.
transportation, especially in Long Island and outside of it, were pretty bad.
So yeah, Danny, would you like to continue your traveling story?
Thank you, Matt. I took, I believe it was a 12:15 bus, and I was supposed to originally get into Boston at 5:45, I think, and I got there at 5 o'clock, so I got there already off the bat 45 minutes early. So I was the first person in Boston out of all of us. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go explore Boston for a little while. So I went to the hotel we were staying at. I dropped off my luggage because I couldn't check in yet because the hotel was under Justin's name, and we only thought that we thought Justin would be there like an hour or two after me, which we'll talk about why he wasn't there an hour or two later. So I decided to go around Boston for a little while, and our hotel was actually like it was right around the corner from the TD Garden in Boston. That's where the that's where the Celtics and the Bruins play. And
I didn't realize that until as I was going home. Like, we took a taxi, they took us around there. I'm like, there's a stadium here.
It's like
wow.
There's a parking garage like 200 feet from the door, like right on that corner.
So Thursday night, the Boston Bruins, the hockey team there, we're actually playing, and I actually went into the Garden, and I was thinking about buying tickets to go for the game because nobody was supposed to be in Boston for another couple hours. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go see how much a Bruins ticket is. I asked like, what's the cheapest ticket? The lady's just like $60. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not paying for this.
For nosebleeds, that's not worth it.
So then I went to go get dinner in the restaurant next to the hotel, and then Justin texted me while I was having dinner. He's like, oh, okay, I changed the hotel so it's under your name. You can go check in now. I'm like, sweet. And then I chilled in the room for the rest of the night. Okay, so that's pretty much my story getting in. I'm going to leave this one up to Justin, because he's probably got the most interesting one.
Yeah.
Go, Justin.
I was scheduled to take a 6:30 flight out of Buffalo to get to Boston.
In the afternoon.
I'd get in...
It's actually
8 o'clock.
Nice try.
Then, when I was going to the airport, my flight got delayed once to 7. Then to 8 o'clock. Then to 8:30. And then my flight got canceled. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I ended up going to take a counter. People were talking. Apparently the next flight to Boston wasn't until Friday night at about 9 p.m. And I'm like, I really do not want to wait an entire day to get on another flight. So I was talking to the people around me, and as fate would have it, 3 people online were going to PAX East. And I was like, that's a coincidence, considering there were only about 40 people on the plane. So anyway, the guy behind me was like, yo, let's drive up to Boston. It'll be fun. Like 6.5 hours. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down. We'll leave like right now.
I like how you're just like, I just met you. Let's go in a car ride together.
Yeah, well...
like, how did that work out?
I'm like, yeah, you're going to PAX? Well, PAX people are like the coolest people ever, you know? They're trustworthy.
That's true.
Like, if you go to PAX East, I trust you. I feel like that's just like implicit.
I trust you with my life.
I inherently like you better than anyone else. That's
one of the guys in front of me was like, yeah, I'm down. And then the other guy was like, nah, I'm not cool with this. And we're like, yeah, all right, I understand. So we're like, let's go get a car, you know? So we went and got a rental car, and one other person at the ticket counter was like, hey, can I cop a ride with you? We're like, sure. And then we ended up driving 6.5 hours to Boston. And it was a fun ride. We talked about everything from Call of Duty to where you've experienced the weirdest food in the world. It was fun.
Where?
I
did the question of where's the weirdest place you jacked off come up in the conversation?
Nope.
Because that's how I break the ice
I've had
with
that
strangers.
conversation way too many times, and it's kind of just dulled on me.
Well, now I'm curious. What is the weirdest
Yeah, what's the weirdest place you've jerked off,
Me
Justin?
and
We gotta
Danny
know.
have had this conversation.
Yeah, we have.
We're
not
do
really.
not know.
I don't think we're.
What do you mean you don't know? You know. You know the weirdest place.
Probably some.
I have an answer, but I'm not willing to share it with the
Probably
public.
someone's house. I don't know.
Aw, damn.
Definitely my house in my spare bedroom.
I'm not sure. Justin, did you do it in my house?
No further questions.
That's
I'm
Yeah.
taking the
Oh,
I'm taking the
God.
silence as a
God
yes.
damn it,
I will
Justin.
plead the fifth.
That's my spare bedroom.
It's also my spit. Oh my god.
Pleading the fifth here.
I don't want to have I don't own a black light, and I'm kind of glad I don't.
Yeah. So I got to Boston about a little after 1 o'clock and ended up getting into my hotel 1:45.
I mean, you got there at the same time as Marco and Kyle.
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
think they got there like 10.
They got like 5 minutes before
about
you.
5-10 minutes before me, and then I think Matt and Nick got in about a little after 12.
We got there at around
Yeah.
midnight. Yeah.
Your train got delayed
So-
twice, right? And you had to take 2 trains.
Oh yeah. So let me start from the beginning. Now, out of everybody in our group that went to PAX East, me and Nick had to travel the most by far because we.
And it's kind of
left-
weird because like you guys were kind of like the closest, kind of.
I guess, but nah, we had to take no, because Marco and Kyle were way closer because they wouldn't have had to need to take a Ronkonkoma train. So we take a train from Ronkonkoma all the way to Penn Station.
That's in New York, by the way.
We leave my house at around 8:15, and it's not till 10 something, 10, yeah, whatever, that we actually leave Ronkonkoma to go to Penn Station. So right there, it's 2 hours there. Get on the train, an hour later we're there, and our Amtrak from Penn Station all the way to Boston isn't until 3:30. So we're just sitting there doing whatever, and it's just we're killing time, we're really bored, and we're getting tired. All of a sudden, our train gets delayed 10 minutes. We're like, yeah, it's not bad. Then it gets delayed 25 minutes. I was like, oh, okay. Then it's delayed an hour, and we're like, okay, fuck this thing. And then finally at 4:30, an hour later, they finally let us on. And a 4-hour Amtrak ride from Penn Station to Boston turned into 7 hours when not only was there a part of the track that ran out of power,
Cool story, bro.
but we had to save another train which broken down, so we had to take all the passengers from there and go to all of their stops before we could go and resume our scheduled, stops. And then finally at 11:30 at night, we arrived at Boston. So over 12 hours of traveling later, I got from here at my house to Boston, and it's
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, that's the
Such
whole
a cool
point.
story.
You wanted me to share the story. I will literally gut you.
No,
in the throat.
So all seriousness, cool story.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm really
You're
glad.
welcome.
I hate you. All right,
Will you two
but
quit jerking each other?
I don't know why he
keeps grabbing
talking.
at me,
He's
man.
making.
He wants a handful of that dick.
Excuse
You guys aren't
me.
even in the same room. You guys are across the state from each other.
Exactly.
I mean, he kept making fun of me in my story. I was just trying to share it with the people, and he's making fun of me. Danny, stop him.
I am host Justin. I banish you. This is now the Dos Hermanos podcast. Me and Matt.
Or Dos Hermanos, I believe. We
Yeah,
can't
you
have
can't
hermanos.
banish me to the Shadow Realm. You don't have a trap card.
I have Kanto the Healer. That's close enough.
Yo, man, I'm Pegasus. I can do
Do
what
you
I
even
want.
own any Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
Ooh.
Danny?
Yeah, I do. I have a huge box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards somewhere in my house at home.
That's not good
Bro,
enough.
who the hell?
That's not
So
good
it's
enough.
it's somewhere around my house. It's in might be under my bed. It might be under my bed.
I
in my room.
sleep
Maybe.
next to a binder full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're in my closet.
I sleep
but
next
same
to a
thing.
picture of. I sleep next to a Kanto the Healer card just so he keeps me healed in my sleep.
That's a little weird.
I have limited edition ancient
No, I don't
god
actually do
cards
that,
I
but, you
keep
know.
in my pocket at all times in case I need to pwn some noobs.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, to be fair, everybody who lived in the year 2000 and was a male.
I
had
wasn't a
Yu-Gi-Oh
complete
cards.
fucking nerd. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards and I collected baseball cards because I like baseball.
I
You
had
like baseball? Who would have thought?
I had Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, obviously. Probably more Yu-Gi-Oh cards than Pokemon. I had wacky packages for a couple of years. And then,
the hell is
What's
that?
wacky packages?
did you never
Fuck
have
is
a wacky package?
I think you're the only one
they
who
were
had a wacky
stickers
package.
on cards, and they were making fun of different
Is
products.
that a sex thing?
No, I can't believe you guys have never heard of wacky packages. They were.
Sounds like
feel like
sounds like a sex thing.
They were. They
I was
were
about to
around
say
when
that
my
sounds
dad
kind
was
of
a
like a
child,
STD,
and they
but
actually
trying to be fun
researched
about
a
it.
couple of years ago, probably like 7 years ago.
Whoa,
And,
what the hell was that noise?
What the hell is
What was that noise in the background?
people being.
Are people going wild again? God damn it.
The
Anyway.
recording for Girls Gone Wild, volume 8.
Oh.
Can we leave that into the podcast so we can hear that again?
Yeah.
Do you think Wacky Package could actually be a porn film name? And it's like,
I feel like that's a
guarantee
line
there
you
is
would
one.
use in a porn film. Like, hey girl, check out my wacky package.
Oh.
that seems like if the main protagonist.
What if, like,
male,
they made a
like the
po-
male
what if they made,
protagonist was a clown and he's like, want to see my wacky package?
What if-
and it's like streamers come out as you unzip his pants. It's like, wee.
What if you made a porno where like a UPS guy goes to, like, to deliver a package? He's like, I've got this wacky package here for you, and then it's just like dick in the box, and she opens the package.
Imagine if it's porn and he says, I have a wacky package, and you open it up and he literally
Yep.
puts a pie in her face and then he fucks her. I think that would be
So
wonderful.
wait, how do you get the pie in her? Oh, okay.
Wacky.
I'm thinking too much about this.
Wacky packages were produced by the Tops Company, obviously.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
They
We'll talk about
started
this after
in
the podcast.
1967.
Our next business venture.
1967, which is crazy.
What about
And then they
1967? I wasn't paying
researched-
attention.
That was when they
2004.
went into production. What,
Like
what about
Tamagotchis.
2004?
In 2004, they resurfaced, and they were around for 4 series of the cards.
Great.
Okay then.
But that doesn't mean that I know what it is.
Yeah, same here.
The last package of cards was released in 2012.
All right, thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Mr. Wacky Package Historian.
Yeah, but they make fun of a product name, so, you know, anything you could think of. Make fun of.
Okay, so back to PAX East.
Oh yeah, PAX East. That's the thing we went to.
what
We
was
really
your,
go off on a lot of tangents.
What was your favorite thing that you saw at PAX East?
Ooh.
as far as games go, or just like
Anything you did. Favorite thing.
Oculus. Oculus definitely for me. My Oculus demo thing that I had was amazing.
Explain.
All right, so they had 2 different things. They had like 2 different things at the Oculus booth. They had a line thing where like regular people could just line up and they would get to like play with the Oculus and do whatever.
They
But then there
got
was,
to play with like kind of a watered down version though.
yeah,
Like,
they
sat
got
in
a
chair,
watered down version. But then there was a premium thing where it was essentially if you downloaded their app that they had
and you schedule an appointment.
You schedule an appointment, you would be able to go into a soundproof room and they would give you like this certain area for you to walk and they essentially like gave you this amazing demo of like the things Oculus can do and the environments that they can make. One of them consisted of like an entire city like shrunk down to the size of like the palm of my
looked
hand
like a train set.
and you could like zoom into it and like see all the things in the buildings. And, like, it was so detailed, but it was like so interesting because it's like an overview world, like an overview of it, which was like you've never seen before. Another one was like you standing up on like a skyscraper, like Arkham, like an Arkham game where you're like Batman and you're like looking down and then you
Yeah,
can,
that was
behind
that was
you.
probably one of the coolest ones where it was you were standing on top of a building and like you look down, like you just see, or you just look around, you see everything that's going on, like. It felt like you're on the top of a building and you were like
on,
about to like
a
drop
ledge, and
down.
it, like actually was very nerve-wracking.
It
was
was
really cool.
crazy. Like, and there was another one where there were a bunch of ones with dinosaurs.
Yeah, there were
was
2
one-
dinosaurs. One where you were like standing in like the hallway and like a dinosaur like walks over you, or he stares
It
at
was
you.
pretty intense.
He looks at you very closely, then he like does like a T-Rex growl at you, then he walks like around you. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Not
like
a
I got
roar,
scared. I was
a
like,
growl.
for a second.
Yeah,
he was-
not a full roar, just a.
the guy pretty much had to say
Like the T.
there
No,
are
the T-Rex.
jump
He looks at
scares.
you. He just like
Growl.
Yeah. Like at that point, I got intimidated.
Rawr,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like, no,
eat
there,
you.
There are no jump scares in this. Just to let you know,
they don't want to scare you for them using the product. I
was
mean,
like-
if that product like legitimately like scared me, like that would be amazing. Like, good job, guys.
True.
But you
I know.
can definitely tell this thing's just a prototype, like for right now. But
Yeah.
it's a pretty damn good prototype.
It's so immersive though. The best, like one of the best ones was the very end, where it's like, now we'll show you what it can do in video games, and it essentially puts you in a first-person perspective.
It kind of looked like it
And
was
you're-
Advanced Warfare, kind of.
He kind of did. I mean, some
Like,
shooter.
There was
game.
like
It
there was
felt
like,
like a
there was
mix
like
of,
soldiers and like
it felt like
mechs.
Mix of Crisis. Like the soldiers looked like they
Yeah.
were something out of Crisis, and then the actual robot looked like something out of Terminator.
Like, the thing that was interesting is that as you're going, like, there are bullets, like, going through you or past you. I go and look to the side, and I look to, like, other soldiers' face. I'm looking, like, inside their helmet, and it's like I can see their faces. It's like, this is awesome. This is so immersive.
And
like,
it was it was in slow motion, so you could see like the bullets like coming into
There
you.
was,
I
like-
was like, oh my god, I'm about to get shot.
There was, like, a rocket flying across, and then you could see it, like, as it was exploding. You saw a car flip,
And
there
like
was
you
a
could
person
turn
inside
around
of
and
it.
you would see like the soldiers because you're like, what happens is you're walking like through the middle of the soldiers about to attack like a Terminator looking like tripod thing. That's
like
the
a
best way.
robot.
And like
a
you're
mech.
like you're slow mo running across them, and like you could turn around and like you could see the soldiers behind you and like everything you pass. It was just really cool.
But it was like
A
it was
car
just-
like
it was
flips over you in
so
explosion.
awesome. There was a person inside that car, and I was like,
Yeah, I saw that too.
"Aw."
True.
That was amazing. But dude, this is why I was excited. Like last year, the only thing that I didn't get to do at PAX East was I didn't get to go to the Oculus booth. And then I finally had the opportunity to do it, and it was like it blew my expectations away with the demo. That was incredible.
We used the Oculus last year at PAX. It was a very like kind of crappy, watered down version. That was.
Did you actually go to the booth last year, or did you just see it on the floor?
We went to like.
We went to like some
Are you-
indie dev
oh
that
no!
had Oculus.
What we saw was just a college that had use of the Oculus technology, and they had just a hallway that you could just walk down to see what the technology was like, and that was the first time that some of us had used it. But
Yeah.
this year we went to the actual.
Well,
booth.
to be fair, it was the first version of it. Don't they? Then now they had the second version that had like HD and everything. So I
don't
think that's
so.
what this was.
I don't-
I thought that they upgraded the model because I think the old one used like it was a big hunk. I think this is a newer model that they released and that they were showing off because it definitely didn't look like the first version if I recall correctly, and it definitely functioned a lot better than it did last year when I used it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
But yeah. That's personally that was my favorite because I have been looking forward to that and it like blew my expectations away. I was like at every time I was like, oh man, if they can like have a thing that's like motion control as well, it'd be the perfect setup of like total immersion. I'm so looking forward to seeing how like it's gonna be used in games in the future because the second they come out with like a product where like a bunch of companies are gonna be like, yeah, we have games that are optimized for Oculus, I'm probably just gonna buy it right away because I'm so looking forward to when they come out with an actual thing for consumers rather than just for devs.
Honestly, I'm between that and Morpheus. I'm probably
No.
leaning towards Morpheus just because
Stop!
I actually-
just because you're stop being a
I
PlayStation
actually
fanboy
talked
and
to a
just
few
buy
people
into
at the show
it.
floor who were using Oculus, who I follow on Twitter and stuff, and they were talking to me about how they liked Morpheus more, just the experience and how the thing felt on your face was a lot better.
I don't care. I just want to feel like I'm in
Yeah,
the
well,
game.
there's
I
so
don't
many
care
VR
which
headsets
product.
now. I mean,
but
Microsoft
goddamn,
announced one, Steam has one coming out.
yeah, but why? Just go with Oculus. God damn, it was the first one that started this whole
But
thing,
it's like
and then all of a sudden every company's
The
like,
Oculus.
now we
no,
gotta
drop
have
the,
one.
it's classier. Hashtag Facebook.
All right, wow, that was the most
Hashtag
forced
social network.
social network
Yeah, that
reference.
was. Yeah, wow. Even if that's my favorite movie, and I think
Yeah,
that was forced.
we already
God
talked
damn.
about that.
Yeah, I know. So what was your guys' favorite? And then we'll get into other stuff that we saw while we were there.
Justin, would you like to go first?
Now you go.
Okay, so my favorite, well, I like the Oculus, but that was probably one of my favorite parts, the Oculus. But my absolute favorite thing there was a little game from Compulsion Game Studio called We Happy Few, which is it's the Compulsion Games is it's a studio based in Montreal. They also made what was it, Contrast? Yeah, they made the Contrast, and their new game is like a survival game. It's kind of like a mix of it's like a mix of Don't Starve and BioShock. That's kind of the best way because it's got the survival mechanic of Don't Starve, but it's also got like the visual aesthetic of BioShock. Just because like what basically is like the demo for the game was you're like kind of set up in like this little like kind of like town where like the people have like masks. Yeah, it's in London. The people have like masks over them and like they'll kill you if you're not happy. It sounds so weird if you like if you haven't seen anything for this game.
As the developers put it, who I talked to there, it's basically in a kind of communist socialist community where everyone is taking happy pills, and these happy pills make people not feel anything and just want to be happy and not go against society, and your character for some reason is the only person in society who is against taking those happy pills, and you have to survive because you don't experience the same ways of joy that the happy pills make everyone else feel. So you can't run, you can't unlock doors, you can't act up, and you have to make your way through the different scenarios presented to you.
Yes. I didn't get a chance to play it though, but you guys seem to be very like in favor.
I heard about it on Friday. I didn't get a chance to play the demo till Saturday.
Yeah, I was talking to Danny about it a couple days before because it was only announced, I think, on Tuesday.
I had heard nothing about this game.
It was announced, I think, Tuesday, the week before, and I was very looking forward to checking it out. And I'm actually gonna be allowed to enter alpha.
Because Justin beat the demo.
Yeah.
Because Justin's a bitch.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. You know me so well.
Exactly.
I just want to.
He's got to get in with the sweet devs so he can get that free shit.
I mean,
but the demo was on PC, and they haven't said anything at all about a release date or if it's coming to consoles or if it's just going to be PC or even Mac. So
the game is in pre-alpha.
For all you PC
stage.
gamers out there, yet another exclusive on our end. Good job.
Well,
keep being you.
It's very early on, but look forward to that.
And so, Justin, we come to you. What was your favorite thing at PAX East 2015?
All the games. There were so many games I got the chance to play.
Any specific game?
Yeah.
There were a lot of them, bro.
Yeah, we know that, but what was your favorite one? Because, you know, the whole part about the favorite part.
Well, there were a few that, like, really stood out to me.
Yeah, but which
I
one?
think Severed was really cool. This is the first time of me seeing that game, but it's been around for a couple years.
To answer the question?
It's by Drinkbox Studios, who made Guacamelee, and it's a Vita exclusive that plays very uniquely in terms of dungeon crawling mixed with Fruit Ninja style swordplay, and it atmospherically was very interesting. The music was awesome, and it looks like it's going to be a very unique game. I got a chance to play the Shovel Knight expansion, Plague of Shadows.
Oh yes, I did as well, and that was very fun. Mm-hmm. They're finally releasing it onto PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Oh, it's not coming to Xbox.
It's not. Ooh, snubbed again. All right.
It's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita on April 21st.
And the free DLC expansion, which I very much appreciate, is that they're releasing free DLC.
Well, that's because of the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter that for the game, they reached all their stretch goals, which included 5 expansions for the game, which are going to be absolutely free as updates.
Yes, it is an extremely fun game, and the DLC is extremely fun.
I
suggest if you don't own Shovel Knight already, if you have a PS4, PS3, whatever, get it on there. If you have a PC and you play on Steam primarily, get it there. If you have a DS and you want to play Shovel Knight, you can do that too.
It's actually going to be on sale the first week it's out in PlayStation. So if you want to get it, look forward to getting it there.
I mean, I'm just waiting for it to be a PlayStation Plus like free exclusive, because you know it's eventually gonna be like maybe 3 or 4 months down the line, it's gonna be a free one, and then I'll essentially have the game and all of the DLC without having to pay any money other than like the service, which is gonna be very worth it.
True. Let me see.
So what else
Albino
would you guys?
Lullaby was very cool.
Yes, that's what I was gonna talk about. Albino Lullaby.
I did not play any of this.
Apparently been in the works for 2 years, and it's a first-person survival.
What studio is behind it?
It's a smaller studio. I'm not sure exactly. They were just going.
Look at.
Yeah, I can get it up.
Remember.
Anyway.
So I'll explain what it is. It's kind of like a thriller game. Like, not so much, like, it doesn't have, like, jump scares in it, but it's a very tense game where you're, like, exploring a lot of, like, these areas. From what the demo showed, it's a very interesting concept of, like, these little, like, creatures that are, like, trying to please their grandmother or whatever, and these are, like, the grandsons or whatever. It's so interesting, because you're, like, it starts off in this very weird. I can't really say much because I only played the demo, and the demo only shows off a little bit. But it's definitely going to be worth.
It's a lot of puzzle exploration. It's survival horror, obviously. It's very immersive. The music is fantastic. The atmosphere is great, and just walking through was a lot of fun.
Oh, and they're using Oculus for it. We didn't get a chance to use the Oculus because it was too long of a line. But we actually played the normal game on computers, and it was really
I talked
fun.
to someone who used the Oculus version, and he said it was awesome. But the game is supposed to be releasing this spring, and I will definitely check it out. It looks like it's going to be an awesome experience.
I'm very much looking forward to playing that game. Anything else?
Orcs Must Die Unchained was a lot of fun.
That's what I was doing. I have to talk about this right now. Okay. So any other day I would have just been like, that was the first thing that we went to at PAX East. Was the first day because they were giving out free scarves. And I'm wearing my scarf right now because it's comfy as shit. But I was so impressed with how awesome the company was, because when we played the game was fun as shit. The guys there were so nice, and they were coming around giving free stuff. I think because of how they acted during PAX 2015, I'm definitely going to be playing that game. They were just so awesome. Yeah. They were like the MVP.
The game wasn't even
PAX,
on my radar. I had heard about Orcs Must Die, but I talked to a developer.
Our friend Marco was the only person who had played it, and we had so much fun.
I had talked to a developer a couple of weeks ago on Reddit about playing the game, because they said they were going to have it at PAX and they were going to be giving away the scarves at their booth. And I was like, oh, I'll be sure to check it out. And then I had talked to a developer there when we were online about the game and everything. And after playing it, I just wanted to get more into the game series. It was a lot of fun, and I feel like it's a learning experience, definitely in terms of a learning curve. But
yes.
I'll definitely be.
Well, it's like any other kind of game. Like, you're not gonna get it right away. Like, it's not like a first-person shooter where it's like you pick it up and you can figure it out. Like, it has some sort of strategy, obviously. I don't know what it was, because you had like one of the guys pretty much telling you what to do. I don't know. All I know is that both of you suck, and me and Marco are awesome, because you guys lost the game for us that we played.
Unlike pretty much every other PC game I play, I was actually kind of good at this game.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of about Albino Lullaby, like before, the developer is Ape Law.
Ape Law. I remember they had like only 6 employees, so it's a very like small company. But they definitely looks good.
The game can be purchased off of their website right now. $10 for the first episode, soundtrack and demo, or you can pay $25 to get all 3 episodes, soundtrack, and the demo.
So yeah, go check them out, support them. I think they're definitely going to be worth. It's definitely worth at least looking at the first episode.
True. I also played We Happy Few like Danny did, and I had a blast with that game. I actually managed to beat one of the scenarios, and it was a lot of fun. I played a lot of Don't Starve, so I think this game will be a lot of laughs and enjoyable times.
A lot of hearty chuckles.
Yeah. It's one of those games where you just need to keep playing it over and over again to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a fun experience.
Also, the game I had the most experience with, or the most time played at PAX, was Final Fantasy 15. Because I was looking, or not 15.
Final Fantasy Type 0, bro.
Type 0. God, it's because I wanted it. Final Fantasy.
It was
15
there.
To
it was
be
just
there.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get behind those closed doors.
Why not?
But I think I played like an hour and a half of that game. Like, before I even knew it, I got into like the final boss of like the demo that they were showing everybody, and it was a pretty fun game. Like, I think a lot of people are gonna be like iffy about it. To me, it was a fun game. I like Final Fantasy games personally. I don't know about you, but like, you guys like didn't play it as nearly as long
I played
as
the game for
you guys
about 35 minutes, and I
only played the Type 0 demo for like maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I had a lot of experience with that in comparison to them. It was a fun game. There are gonna be some people that are like, at first I thought like the camera angles were a little wonky, but you kind of get used to it after a while.
It's not an actual, like, it's not built from the ground up for the systems. It was meant for PSP. That's where the game was originally released on.
Yes.
And I mean, you're gonna experience camera angles like that with any game like this, but
that explains why the graphics are a little bit meh, because I was like, this isn't like the best graphic,
but they still look good.
But it's very solid and it's a very fun game.
And the gameplay
so
is a
if
lot of
anybody's like if anybody's a fan of it, they played it on the PSP, or they just want another Final Fantasy game to make them forget about Final Fantasy 13, go check out this game.
Let's see, Titan Souls was a lot of fun, which I played. It's going to be available on PlayStation in a few weeks, and
oh yeah, what was that about? I forgot what that is. That was like you had one arrow.
The game
or something,
was
and you
made very popular because a small development team. I'm not sure how many people. Made
Like,
a
it
very
looked like
simple
a
game where you fight a boss, and the only thing you're given is one arrow, and
Yeah, it's like Shadow of the Colossus, but pixelated.
you have
essentially.
a roll function, and then you have the ability to shoot this one arrow, charge it up, and then bring it back to you after you shoot it. And the bosses in the game were so elaborate, and it takes a lot of work. There was one boss about getting a ice block to land on a switch, so you could shoot your arrow through some fire to actually melt the ice. There was one about getting.
Does jet fuel melt steel beams?
We will not talk about that, Danny. No.
Oh, okay.
Not allowed.
I'm going back in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Killing the hype train.
That game was a lot of fun. Very difficult. Reminded me of Dark Souls, how you have to learn the bosses, how they fight in order to defeat them. Axiom Verge was a lot of fun. We played that early on Friday. It's very Metroid-esque, and it was just a very fun time. That game is also going to be available in a few short weeks. And I feel
Awesome.
like there was one more game I wanted to talk about.
Nope, you didn't play any other games. Game 4?
That's what I wanted
think
to
that's
talk
definitely
about.
worth
Yeah,
talking
Game
about.
4 from
Yeah.
the Behemoth. We waited about an hour, 40 minutes to play this game, and our legs nearly made us pass out because we were so tired.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's give some context. There's always a situation now where me and Justin are going to be waiting on a 2-hour line for
Yeah,
something.
happens every year.
Last year, it was Borderlands the pre-sequel before it was really
It was just a
shown.
demo that was being played, and people were going to this demo room to see the game behind closed doors because they weren't showing it
with
publicly on the show.
The most comfortable chairs I've
Yeah,
ever sat in
almost
my
passed
life.
out.
Yeah, but this year it was like Behemoth had a game called Game 4. It's just a stand-in title right now. It's not actually what it's going to be called, but they just don't know what it is. And it's a turn-based, what would you
A
call it?
turn-based fighting game that is very based around customization, characters, fighting, combat.
They had a lot of people filling out little paper things talking about what your favorite aspects of the game were. It was an incredible
Yeah, the
game.
booth was
and it
really
very,
cool because it was.
very fleshed
I
out.
think there were 12 or 14 spaces to play the game, but they had the button set up on the actual panel that the game
They had
was
a
rested
crank
on.
that you
Like,
could
there was
actually
a lever
pull.
you could pull down. They had the buttons just face up on the console the game was playable on, and they were large buttons. You would just push them.
There was also Stamper there, I
Yeah,
recall.
true.
And, the owners of the company, which was
Yeah,
nice.
you didn't even know he was one of the head guys at the
I
game.
didn't. I always just assumed I knew him from his cartoons before I knew him from
Yeah.
that. That was so weird for me, figuring that out, because I actually was a huge fan of him, and now I have more of a reason to be a fan of him. Plus, he's also extremely funny in the demo.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely funny. I'm just gonna point that out
Yeah.
there. And I'm trying to remember, he voices a giant ape essentially controlling your character's lives essentially, and he's narrating the whole
he's the
time.
narrator, and he's basically telling your characters what to do. He's like, "You gave
You're gonna
all
give
your...
all your
It
grapes
was
to her.
blueberries, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, there's no grapes in that game. God,
Oh God, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
blueberries.
Something
Yeah.
happened.
Something
Spoiler alert,
happens
there are
because of blueberries.
Spoiler alert, there's a cupcake in there and you get to recruit
Yeah,
him.
it was really uncomfortable.
I felt bad for him because he was in an abusive relationship.
So true.
He was also called Gluten, not an actual cupcake. I was confused.
Hey, Matt.
But anyway.
It's gluten free, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
PAX was a lot of fun. We went to a few panels. Just had a few time. Very fun time. It's very exhausting because you are walking around the show floor all day long, unless you're going to sit in panels all day. But most people just decide to go to the show floor, and yeah, it's just fun as always.
The cosplay was awesome.
Yeah,
as
the
usual.
cosplay was really good this year. There wasn't
had
as many as last year, but they were very good. Very
Yes,
well
they
done.
were. As a League player, you always see all the different League cosplay, which is probably the most prominent out of all
Yeah,
of it, the
yeah, I
most
guess.
recognizable. Because there's that, and there are other video games, but you always the Kitty Cat Katarina that we always see. We have to make sure we see at least one.
Yeah.
But anything else? Do you want to talk about any panels that you went to that were worth mentioning?
We went to Rooster Teeth, which was fun. But Sunday was mostly the panel day for me. We went to Gearbox, which was a blast as always.
Oh yeah, also the pitch your own game idea. That
Oh
was
yeah,
a fun
pitch your own
panel.
game idea. That was on Friday night. I completely forgot about that. That was
Yeah.
funny as hell.
That was all like going to that panel was like for those of you who ever plan on going to PAX East, definitely go and check that
Yeah.
panel out. It's
And
extremely
also,
funny.
make sure you don't pitch an actual game idea.
Yeah. They
Oh
will
yeah,
crush
there are
your
actual
dreams.
like yeah, there are people who actually come in there like a serious game idea. It's all about like complete.
It's all
bullshit.
like just bullshit.
The
like,
person
come up with
who
a-
won that like was called Petty Theft Auto, where you essentially can't steal cars that are valued at over $500.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it
something
was really
ridiculously like.
They were talking about changing
Yeah.
the name of the panel itself to like come up with pitch your funniest game idea, which wouldn't really be a bad idea. So this way people don't get the wrong idea.
Nah.
I love how the the
It
guy
says
who
in the
was, like, head of the
description, do
panel-
not pitch your own game idea because it will be stolen and made fun of.
This is a public forum, and somebody could actually steal your game.
I actually had a serious idea going into that panel, but I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna share
Yeah,
it.
didn't you
'cause,
go there
know,
last
A,
year?
it could get
No.
it could get stolen, and B, no one's gonna
Danny,
take it seriously.
you went there last year. You're not supposed to pick actual game ideas. Come on,
And
man.
then-
There were a couple kind of serious ones last year. This year there were like no serious ones whatsoever.
Yeah, because they said right out of the gate, no serious
Yeah.
ones, because we're gonna say no, and you're gonna get.
I mean,
yeah,
they've
he's
been-
like,
they've
yeah,
been doing the panel
somebody
at PAX for,
every
like,
year
10
gets their
years.
feelings hurt after they pitch a game.
Nobody
and
really
then
got
they
their feelings hurt this year, and everybody was like a good sport about if they said like
Yeah,
no,
well, that's
like
the
your idea
panel.
sucks.
That's like, I feel like that's not like meant
Well,
to be
you
serious.
can't control other people being super stupid
Yeah.
about it, but at least everybody realized that it was an extremely fun time
Mhm.
though,
Sunday I went to the Gearbox panel. That was a lot of fun.
and they didn't give any free games. I'm a little disappointed, but we got to see Troy Baker, and he was
Yeah.
fun.
He had a story, which was pretty exciting.
He had a ponytail.
Yeah, he had a scarf, and it was.
He looked very
Yes,
hipster.
it was very enjoyable.
Yes. Also, there was a magic trick that I wouldn't say was really a magic trick. It was just
Oh,
like
there was
really
a
lucky
prediction
guess.
that was actually very funny.
It was like
a
this.
psycho.
It was the most long. I thought they were gonna do some like legit magic trick, and it's like, oh, this person who has this name out of like 6 people is gonna win. Oh
Yeah,
wow!
It was better than Neil Patrick Harris's at the Oscars by far.
Oh
by
wow,
far.
that's high. That's high praise.
I
Yeah,
just want to say,
I was-
Randy,
I
Randy
did not go
Pitchford,
to-
you did
okay.
good. You did good.
Yeah,
Continue.
I did not go to the convention on Sunday because we're recording this on Monday after. So I didn't go yesterday because I had a midterm this morning at 8:15, and I kind of wanted to get back because like my bus times they didn't really work with the convention. Like the latest bus was like 4 o'clock, and I didn't want to miss. I really didn't want to get in the last one, and then there was a 12:15 one, and then the Gearbox panel was in the morning at like 10:30, so. And it ended at 11:30, and I didn't really want to cut it that close, so I just figured, you know what, I'm just not gonna go on Sunday. And I actually wound up almost missing my midterm this morning
Yeah, good job
I'm
with
just
that.
saying,
Why?
Danny,
I wonder
You should've
why.
stayed.
because I stayed up all night studying. At 7 o'clock, I kind of passed out, and my midterm started at 8:15. I woke up in my bed in my room at 8:11, so I basically got my shoes and ran to my class, and the midterm started about 30 seconds after I walked in. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I as well had a midterm today, but I had the luxury of being able to sleep until like 1:30
I slept
before I had
until
to
like
leave.
11:30. I was like, yeah, I don't even care. I need sleep.
I got in like 2 in the morning, so I was
Mhm.
exhausted. But at least I was well rested from my midterm, which I fucking killed that
Yeah,
shit.
buddy.
Boy.
I did okay on mine.
Yeah.
I did
Hooray
okay
for
on mine.
mediocrity. Woo.
Well, Danny, you should have stayed for that 4 o'clock bus because Matt and Nick left at like 3. Like,
yeah,
they
we
left
could've
at
all,
like
left at the same
3:25.
time.
Well, there was a slight issue with my bus tickets, so I'm kind of glad I got that sorted out.
Okay, well, you did say there was like a 4 o'clock bus, so I was like, that would have worked really well because they left like immediately after that. So yeah,
Yeah, we left at like 3:30 around there, so we stayed for a pretty long time.
After Gearbox, Game Over Grey show was freaking awesome, and
As somebody who doesn't really watch them, it's very
yeah,
interesting.
like
I'm
you
probably
can
gonna
see
start
why
watching
people
them.
enjoy them. They're some of the nicest, funniest guys in the
I know
industry.
they're super chill.
And like we were waiting in the queue room before the panel, and it was like the first room. Everyone else was outside, like lining up against the wall. And Greg and Colin walked into the room, and everyone just started applauding like crazy. And like people
Yeah.
lost their shit. And like Colin's just like, "All right, guys, it's cool, it's cool." and the panel was a lot of fun. They just were doing a lot of questions and stuff, and Nick Scarpino did his walk-in, which is the best walk-in ever, obviously. And afterwards, they had a fan meetup in the room next to them, which had like 300 people in a very small room, which was really
and which you had
fun.
a wonderful selfie where you looked like a murderer in it.
Yeah. No,
you should post the picture. Just look at your murder face and just zoom in. It's
I'm just like
half your face and you look like,
I'm
going to murder you.
Putting my hands on shoulders and like leaning up to get like in the camera. And like, I guess the guy wasn't saying like, here, say cheese, or like, I'm going to take a picture now. He just had the camera up and then he just started taking like a ton of photos. And then eventually he's like, oh yeah, it's good. Like we took like
zoom
we took like
in
4
on your
photos
face.
and he's like, all right, serious face. That was the serious face. That's why.
Serious face. I don't think it was serious because somebody like had their arms up flailing
I
around
know.
like, oh.
No, they did like serious face and a funny face, and like they were going through these. But that was a lot of fun.
And Justin had his rape face on the entire time.
Exactly my point.
Exactly.
If you're listening to the YouTube version of this, we'll probably include the picture in there.
True.
Yeah,
I'll
Justin will include the picture in there.
Try to.
Oh yeah, that's
he's
that's
the
another thing.
picture guy.
Justin likes to do the YouTube videos where he likes to like.
Yeah, you can
put
thank me
pictures
for
of
those
what we're
YouTube
talking
videos,
about.
by the way.
Yeah, those make it very nice. I do appreciate.
I do
that.
absolutely nothing when it comes to the editing of this podcast.
Yeah, Danny's
I
like,
stand out
I
because-
have no control over this, so just do
I
shit.
edit the audio. Justin edits pictures.
And I'm just here to voice my opinion.
Nah, you run the Twitter account. Which
Yeah,
by the way,
actually, I run the Twitter account.
You should have like been a part of the panel that me and Justin went to, which is about social media.
You will love that, Danny. Yeah, no, Jake's
that was
panel
funny.
awesome.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, I got to meet all the kind of funny crew, and I got photos with all of them. It was a lot of fun. Everyone was getting their Vita signed, and everyone was getting their 3DS signed, saying, "Tim, get a Vita." And I was like, "This is great."
Well, some guy kept yelling out, "Oh man, I could sell you a Vita in the other room."
Yeah, people were just like yelling out to them, and they're like, "Ah." Yeah.
It's like,
But
yeah.
anyway, that was fun. And then I went to the Audacity of Hype Round 2 panel afterwards, which featured a couple of people like Dan Hevia, David Ostry, Jake Baldino. And that was a lot of fun. I went to the first one last year, and they just talked about like do's and don'ts of social media. Like, don't be a dick. Check your
Specifically
retweets.
made that point.
The funniest thing was they talked about Dave Ostry from Gunners who accidentally retweeted porn, and it was just hysterical because it was like, don't eat pussy or eat pussy. It's gluten free.
No, eat pussy.
And it was a
gluten-free.
picture that was only showing a woman's face, but then if you zoomed it, like you opened the picture up completely on Twitter, it would be like a girl going down on another girl. He's like, whoops, I should have done that. And then he got like,
he told us like he got like 900
and he got a
followers
promotion
from
the
that.
next day, and he's like, it worked for me. Do it.
Exactly. So everybody retweet. What was it? Brazzers.
Brazzers.
Retweet Brazzers
Follow
tweets,
Brazzers
and you
on
will get a
Twitter.
promotion,
BRAZZERS.
and you will get Twitter followers.
All right, I'm gonna go on to the Amigops podcast Twitter account right now and just retweet a bunch of porn.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. We have a brand.
Aaron does that a lot.
I actually
Yeah, we
put
were
up,
talking about Aaron the entire time that we looked at the porn thing. We were like, Aaron retweets
we're
a
like,
lot of porn.
This is so Aaron.
This is Aaron.
I was just
100%.
talking to Aaron before. He's like, "Did you guys talk about me on the podcast last week?" I'm like, "Yeah, we talked about you dropping out."
Oh, I took a selfie of the thing. The
If
editing.
Aaron's listening,
Oh my
to
God,
this, hey Aaron.
Justin,
Yes.
can you put the picture of Aaron in the YouTube video?
Which picture? Oh, the picture, the Jafar picture.
The Jafar
Oh, yeah.
picture
Oh,
of
I
Aaron.
found it.
Please,
There's
just
like a
put,
Disney
all
app
of the
not-
pictures.
There's some random Disney app that morphs faces, and it was like, "Hey Jafar," and I'm like, "This Aaron photo is the only photo I have on my phone of someone that this actually works." So I used it, and it was pretty
It's
freaking
so
cool.
funny. We were laughing hysterically in our hotel room.
Anyway, after that panel I went to, I had talked to Jake for a little bit, and we just talked about just like kind of how like our business works and how like companies grew and everything. It was pretty cool. He's an awesome guy.
Got a lot of insight.
And after that, Nick and Matt left, and I just kind of wandered the show floor for like the next 2 hours.
True. Did you do anything while you were there?
I just looked around for a little bit. I was looking at some shops. I played Halo 5 Guardians. I found ran into Andy again. That was funny. Like as
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
I
leaving
saw
the
that. I was-
convention center, I ran into him. I was like, hey, and I'm like, rest in peace. I was shaking his hand. I'm like, rest in peace, Internet Box.
Andy from the Internet Box
No,
podcast.
no, it's not dead yet.
Yeah,
They're
I know,
still
but he was
nominated.
laughing.
I voted.
He's
for
from
them.
the Internet Box podcast. If just you guys didn't know, and we love the Internet Box podcast here. We are
It's
very
like-
big fans.
Yeah.
It's
They're
definitely
kind
my
of the
favorite
inspiration.
podcast.
Yeah, last year when we were leaving, I ran into him like as I was walking out the door.
Oh yeah,
And-
last year at the Rooster Teeth panel, we actually sat next to him, and it was like me. I sat next to him by just a stance. I'm like,
Yeah, that was pretty
Andrew,
funny.
and like his friend Justin is like, yeah, that definitely is.
True.
And I was like whispering over to Justin. I'm like, that's Andy, isn't it? And
Hey,
we just
yeah.
didn't talk to him.
Yeah, basically.
That was before the whole elevator fiasco.
Yeah,
with,
we already talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
I'm
but
just
still.
saying,
Reference.
That's why I didn't go into detail.
Yeah, reference points are nice. Yeah, but PAX was a ton of fun. I had a blast.
It definitely was.
Yeah. It was the tits.
Except for the whole part about me having to go back home because my freaking friend scheduled our train at like 6:30.
Yeah, that's his fault.
Yeah, that is
And
his
Nick.
fault. Because if he had just decided, like, oh, an hour or two earlier, we would have gotten home at, like, 10 o'clock instead of, like...
Oh, yeah,
You
something
s-
I
or,
need
like-
to bring up. We're going to totally put this in the podcast because I think it deserves an attention, like, spotlight. There's a photo of Danny in a leather robe that's a leopard
Oh, my
spotted.
God.
And it is just... It needs to have a
He-
presence on the internet, and it will...
Just put, like, just bold words, sex appeal, and then it's his
Yeah.
picture. It's like, you can't get any better
I'll,
than
I'll
that.
make sure to put that in the video.
What picture?
We have to tell
The
the,
picture of
story
you with the robe.
about...
Oh, the picture. Oh, god damn it! The picture of me in the robe. Oh, please.
Well,
No.
we need to give some backstory as to why that was happening. Okay,
God.
so when Justin was the last person that came to the hotel, and me and Danny thought it would be funny if Danny was in the robe when Justin came into the elevator. I
And
was
also,
gonna
the
lean
only
into
thing
the
I was wearing
elevator.
under my robe was my underwear.
You
You sure you were wearing
you were
underwear,
like,
Danny? Don't lie.
Yeah, I was wearing underwear under my
and
robe.
he was just like, he had himself spread out throughout the elevator so he could see like every crevice, just
Every
everything.
crevice?
And then
I had underwear on.
Except at some point, some guy was attempting to get into the elevator, and I was like, I had to stand in front of it awkwardly, like, oh yeah, no, there's a guy who's like almost naked in here. You probably don't want to come in here. While I was trying to get Justin to get into the room, because he had to give them like his card or something. It was something funny. So Danny was just in the elevator, and then the door closed, and he left for some reason. So we had
No,
to
the
wait
elevator
for
just closed. Some noise was coming in the elevator. I'm like, what's going on? So I just went back up and went back down the elevator again.
But yeah, so he was half naked in the elevator, just waiting to greet Justin.
Yeah, he was waiting for me. And then Matt came down. When I asked Danny to come down, I was like, this is a little suspicious. And then I go into the elevator. I'm like, hey, Danny. And he's like, look down. And I'm like, I'm not looking down. But hi.
And then you had a long hug.
Yeah.
And then Danny got a boner, and then you banged.
Excuse me.
That's not what
This
happened.
is not what happened.
That's that's what I recall.
Danny turned up
happened.
with the
You
people
asked,
across the street.
You asked
and then-
me, Kyle, Marco, and Crispy to get out of the room for like an hour or two, and then you guys
Nope.
probably banged.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just trust me. None of that happened.
Just
you can
trust.
imagine that happened.
Nope.
Just know
Yes, I can.
your mind is playing
My
tricks
mind
on
is
you.
twisted. Anyway, was there anything else worth mentioning?
PAX was fun. That was it.
That's about everything
Yeah,
for PAX.
true.
That is a solid 50-something minutes of
Wow, it
PAX.
doesn't even
Yeah,
feel like
true.
we've been recording that long.
Yeah. Anyway,
Alright.
things I wanted to get through quickly. Release dates that got announced over the past week. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, is going to be coming out September 1st, and it's going to have an awesome collector's edition for $99. It comes with an actual arm you could get.
An actual...
Yeah, like an arm, you know? Like a
human
metal
arm?
But like
Oh.
Terminator style, right? Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
That's Battlefield.
No, they have the same intro. They have the same intro beat that goes dun 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 dun, and then it's like Terminator goes dun dun dun, but Battlefield just goes dun 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 dun, and just keeps repeating it.
I still love that video where it's
Battlefield.
it shows
Battlefield
because the
continuation
first
in
couple
the future.
Battlefield games it's like classical like war
It's
style
like,
music, and then Battlefield 3 for some reason just goes to like a weird dubstep intro, and then Battlefield 4 is like a really like a much harder dubstep intro, and then they just they use Battlefield 5 and they just like it's pure like dubstep bass like
It's like,
yeah like
Yeah.
that. It's funny. It's a funny video.
I'm not gonna edit that.
Link.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna.
Yeah, just like
I'll put the link
in
as the
YouTube
picture.
video.
It'll just be a link.
Yeah. All right. How's that gonna work?
September 1st is also the release date for Mad Max, which we've only seen a little bit of last
Woo!
year. Actually, that was 2 years ago at E3.
I think it was E3 2013.
Yeah, so it's a long time. We haven't really seen much, but I guess because of the movie and everything, they're going to be promoting it a lot more. And then
I am very excited for that
the
movie.
day before PAX East, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood was actually announced as a standalone.
And they showed off a gameplay
Yes.
trailer at PAX
Well,
East,
they
which
didn't,
we watched,
they didn't show
and
the,
that was
they
cool.
didn't show the trailer at PAX East, bro. Let me just talk. Okay.
You
Whoa,
know,
Okay,
man,
bro.
relax.
Okay, bro.
Okay, well,
Hey,
they
who's the host
they-
here?
Yeah, shut up, Justin.
Bruh, yeah,
they
but
presented
you're getting
it.
your
They
facts
presented
wrong.
it at
You're
PAX
getting your
East.
facts
All right,
wrong,
guy.
bruh. They showed a reveal trailer. They said it was gonna be demoed at PAX East. They had a 25-minute demo at the Twitch booth Friday and Saturday at PAX, and the game looks awesome. It looks
Exactly.
just like Wolfenstein. Looks like a lot of fun. Definitely be picking it up, and it releases on.
Really,
May
it looks
5th.
just like Wolfenstein, and it's a Wolfenstein game. I was expecting it
The
to look like a
day
different
after
game.
Justin's birthday.
Just spoilers, bro.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize your birthday was a
May the 4th
spoiler.
be with you.
Oh yeah, he also says that a lot on his birthday. Makes me want to punch him in the face.
All right.
But anyway,
Oh my god, the third podcast in a row with the fucking McConaughey. You know what?
Please?
You know what? Can we make that our catchphrase?
No,
Alright,
that's
alright,
already
alright.
a catchphrase.
that's Justin's catchphrase. Mine is
No, for the podcast, I'm saying like
all right.
we have to say it during every podcast. We just have to say all right at some point.
Yeah, and,
All right,
I don't feel comfortable.
This is the Three Amigops podcast.
I don't feel
All
comfortable.
right.
If it happens, it happens. But otherwise, no.
No, you kind of force it in there. I don't know about that. It's like shoving it down our
Easy,
throats.
boys. We got a job to do. Must be the money.
Anyway, is there anything else we're talking about?
Oh, we were talking about release dates.
Well, yeah, continue.
Yeah. So those are the release dates
So-
for those games. You know.
Aw, thanks, Justin.
That's what I was saying. Is there anything else other than release
Well, those
dates? Because you clearly just finished.
Those were the 3 release dates I saw. You guys have anything you want to talk about?
No.
Really? You had nothing.
Well,
Nothing.
I was at PAX the whole
you weren't at
time.
PAX for a whole week. You were at PAX the entire time. I was at PAX East.
Yeah, I also had school.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
sorry.
True.
So, Danny, how are you doing?
Oh, all right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
See, when we don't have anything to talk about, this is exactly
You
what
wanna know
happens.
what I wanna talk
This
about?
Is what? Right. What?
House of Cards is like the best thing ever.
Well, I haven't watched
I know,
that
but
show
you need
yet.
to watch House of Cards because it's just like the best.
I heard how they were talking about some mobile game that was in House of Cards, and like that game like now is like surged in sales.
Well, this game called Monument Valley, which was very well received, and it actually sold like a lot because it was up for Game of the Year from a lot of studios. And that was highlighted in one of the earlier episodes, and then the Stanley Parable was actually shown in the show at one point, and which was weird because those games are very.
They're actual
yeah.
games. They're not like bullshit games. Well, I mean, Stanley Parables.
No,
not
it's not
actually
that
a
they're
game.
bullshit games. It's like it's funny to see like games like that, and because they're not like that widely known, they're not as popular.
Well, I mean, if Kevin Spacey's in there, can you consider Call of Duty also?
no, because he hasn't in the show. He's played Killzone on like PlayStation, and then he's played on his Vita.
So are you saying the president of the United States is a PlayStation fanboy?
Yeah, he owns a Vita, and
Really?
he played his Vita at one point in the show.
That is such a plug. That is such a plug.
It was totally like not like it
was
was totally
totally
not, a plug 'cause
not
they were
forced in.
just talking about it like he was playing it, and it's like playing that Killzone.
Yeah, I'm just casually
He-
playing
his
my
character is
PS
very,
Vita.
like, Killzone. He's a huge Killzone fan, and like they even show like when he gets his security set up in the house, and like they have to like disconnect his like signaling. He can't connect his PlayStation to the internet. And he's playing like I think he was playing God of War Ascension, and they're like, oh yeah, the
Jesus.
Wi-Fi doesn't work down here, and he's like, God damn it. and this went and smoked.
Wow.
But the show
Smoked.
itself is such an awesome show because there's so much politics, but the politics are very ruthless, and it's so much pragmatism. Just ruthless pragmatism is like the theme of the
Ruthless.
show. How you will do everything in your power to do what's right, even if it means doing very bad things like
Like what?
drugs, money, abuse, alcohol, killing,
Yes.
murders.
Man, I gotta save all these people. Better do a line of cocaine. Oh man, I feel so good for helping out a bunch
That
of people.
happens in the show. True story.
Wow.
True story.
Wow, I never thought doing a line of coke would save so many people.
It did. It saved everybody.
Our president is doing our job. He's doing his job wonders.
Wonders.
I think Obama just like does a line of coke and he's like, I just saved a bunch of kids in Africa. How about you?
Obama, Africa, cocaine.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yes.
totally went there for like the Ebola thing and was like, you know what? I'm really stressed out. Let me just do like a line of coke right now.
The Ebola thing?
Yeah.
He went bowling?
Ebola thing. Yeah, e-bowling, right? E-bowling.
E-bowling, the next video game. Like,
You throw the ball at like a random crowd of civilians in Africa and like they just get Ebola. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
that's a terrible idea for a video game. Why did we make this? We're not a company anymore. We don't have jobs.
I think that should have been pitched at the game
yeah.
idea thing.
Oh,
E-bowling, where it's
oh
you
my
give.
god! Someone pitched a game about the freaking dress, and everyone's like, "Yeah, no, please stop."
Oh yeah, one meme per pitch.
He started talking about like he named it Arizona's Most Wanted, and it was about llamas escaping, which was funny at first. But then he's like, then you have to like do a test to see whether or not the llamas are white and gold and blue and black. And he's like, no, stop, that's it, one meme per pitch. Also,
Which, by the way, it's not gold.
it's white and gold.
No, it's not.
We're not
You were
talking
literally-
It's
about
white
this.
and gold.
the
it's white and
10%.
gold.
It's not.
It's blue
It's
and
fucking
black.
white
The
and gold.
dress itself is blue and black. There's no arguing that. Now let's move on.
No, it is white.
No,
I see it
the
as white and
actual
gold.
dress itself is blue and black. The woman who owns it showed an actual photo of the dress before it was altered and said, "It's blue and black. Here, look at the photo."
Yes, well, I see the picture as white and
Yeah,
gold.
okay, you do,
Yeah,
but
but
that's
it's
yeah,
not.
You can see it as white and gold, but that's not what the dress.
You can
actually
see
is.
whatever you want. That doesn't make it wrong. That doesn't mean that
Yeah,
you're
it's-
right.
I know, I'm just stating what I saw.
Danny, it's like
Justin's like, no, what you see is wrong. The cake is a lie.
Because it
it's
is
like
wrong.
saying that like like the sky.
It's like fucking vaccinations. It's like, no,
Well, that's a
vaccinations
weird
are bad for my
segue.
kids. Yeah, you're fucking retarded.
Dude, are you Jenny McCarthy?
True.
Are you Jesse McCarthy?
Something I actually
It's Jesse McCartney,
looked at
but-
today. I want to do.
I don't want
As I was looking through the 1001 movies you have to see before you die.
anyone to hope.
I was thinking, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I totally want to go through this
Go to
list
waste.
because I've seen a lot of the movies on that list.
Nobody remembers that song?
We're not talking
I'm sorry,
about
what?
music.
We're talking about Jesse McCarthy. Come on.
You said I thought you said Jesse McCartney.
thought we said
like the
Melissa
Beautiful
McCarthy.
Soul. I was singing Beautiful Soul. You didn't.
You can't sing,
Oh, yeah.
man. There's issues with singing.
Well, does he have a tissue?
It's not copyright if I use the song, Justin.
Well, if you sing
sing
it, it's
whatever
gonna
he
be like,
wants.
oh my god, this kid's singing a song. We gotta like totally like not give him like any rights.
We gotta censor
Yeah.
him. We can't let everybody know his beautiful voice.
Censor bars are a thing.
Next thing you know, like America's top thing will like, ah man, we gotta take Danny away. Gotta sign him to a contract. Put him up against like Lady Gaga, and Adam Levine.
Levine.
It's Adam Levine. Nice try, but
Yeah.
dude, that means selling out. Oh, money time.
Oh, selling
Only
out.
3 podcasts, and I'm already selling out. Later, boys.
Oh, you got pissed at me and you had a conversation about how you hate PewDiePie because he sold out, and
Yeah.
yet you're like you would do the
He
exact same
didn't
thing.
sell out. He was just.
That's what I was trying to say.
No, I
but
wasn't
he's
saying that
like-
he sold out. I'm just saying that I hate him
Okay, that's your opinion.
because
he makes money
said-
doing nothing.
Hey, Danny, you know something? He actually
What?
does a lot of work. Like, the thing is, he
I
wouldn't
know.
have the amount of subscribers he does if he didn't work a lot. He spent, like, the last, 6 years of his life dedicated to, like, YouTube and everything. Every day, putting hours on it.
Maybe I just don't like his
YouTube.
personality. That's it.
Yeah, but you think...
You mean his
You
character?
think that, like-
that's not even how he
Yeah.
acts in real life. That's just a
Mhm.
character he puts up for his.
But, like, you see,
game.
like, a 15-minute video, and you're like, oh, he does for 15 minutes a day? Oh, it's nothing. But, like, there's a lot of work behind every video you see.
Listen,
he
I
puts
just
out,
don't- I
he
just don't
puts
like
out,
him,
like,
alright?
He puts out like 4 to 5 videos a day, and they're all edited. So it's like you have to think how much work does he put in just to
Yeah.
release a video.
Okay, I don't like him. That's just my opinion. All right.
Okay.
Well, I don't like you. How about that?
And
JK, lol.
lol.
Lol, JK. Nah,
Yo,
but
you
really,
got
I really
burned.
fucking hate you. Yo, sick burn, bruh.
Sick burn, bruh. Burn, bruh.
So it's actually finally a decent temperature here. It was like 50 degrees. So I'm actually happy that I was
Wednesday
out in
it's gonna be
shorts.
50. Can we actually talk about what I was in the middle of before Danny started getting all Jesse McCartney on my ass?
I want it.
You and your
back.
beautiful.
Have you guys ever
soul.
thought about the 1001 movies list?
I feel like I would not have the patience to watch all the movies.
Well, I want to see.
Are you talking about I saw some guy do a post on Reddit about how he watched all of them.
Yeah.
Number one
True.
post.
True. Yeah.
True.
Reddit is like the best thing ever. Two things.
Are you sure?
No, Reddit is like amazing.
Because I think MySpace is making a comeback.
Really?
Dude, I'm pretty sure Friendster.
Oh,
is
yo,
better.
did you know what I saw on the Twitter sphere today about people getting mad about things that don't matter? The new Ghostbusters movie is already having a sequel. Did you see this?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
saw this
female
with
No,
sequel?
it's the
with-
female
something about Channing
movie
Tatum
is
in it,
having a
right?
male sequel that is going to be produced by the Russo brothers and
Sony.
Channing Tatum
Yeah, I saw this.
Why?
because people don't like being sexist.
Because people like saw that it was an all-female cast. They're like, "Why? This is
No,
stupid. Bring the men
because
back."
the fact that people got really mad that the Ghostbusters were never female, and then once they made them all female, everyone who was like you against pushing them was like,
I
Yes.
honestly don't see why people would have an issue with it.
I
I
don't know.
guess
My only
like,
issue is that
people
Melissa
are
McCarthy's in
the
it, and I
thing
don't like
is,
her.
people are so picky about like old things, and if people want to bring it back, they're like, "No, it's got to be perfect."
I don't
Like,
care
just,
that,
God damn, just let it happen. If you don't like it, at least you have the originals. Just at least worst case scenario, you don't like it, and then you just forget it ever
But
happened.
Matt,
Best case scenario, it turns out
Matt,
to be awesome.
Have we ever forgotten the Phantom Menace? No, we have not.
Can we
Well,
not
I
get into
mean-
the Star Wars talk?
Well, I mean,
He's like, oh, you'll just forget the new movies, like they don't matter, and then you're like, well, the Star Wars
Well,
prequels
people make a big
happened,
deal.
and
I really don't care about the Star Wars prequels. People
Chills.
give them shit about those
Yeah,
movies.
they're bad.
I don't care. Those movies serve a completely different purpose than the
then
first
why do they have
three.
the same
They
name?
serve
They still have the Star Wars name.
because it's a Star Wars movie and it's about the same, the
Because
same
they're all made
story.
by George Lucas.
But just saying, they're not supposed to be. Like, they're not the same kind of movies. The first three movies, the original three, those are awesome Star Wars movies. The other three, they tried to be, like, more appealing. I don't know why they
Blame
needed to, because
George
it's literally,
Lucas.
like, the most important, like, movie franchise ever to exist. So there's not really a necessary... It's not necessary to, like, try to make it appealing to everybody. Everybody already likes it. So that's the
You wanna
mistake
know
that
what they
George
did?
Lucas made, because he made it...
Do you
He made the
want to
Phantom
know
Menace
what they
so
screwed up on?
childish.
They made the
Would you
movie
not-
very childish. Way too.
I was
yeah.
just about to say that, you bitch. He made it too childish for everybody, and a lot of people who were hardcore fans couldn't get into
The
it.
humor was
It's as simple as
terrible.
that.
There was way too much CG. They decided to kill off the best characters in the entire prequel series in the first movie.
Well, the worst movie out of the bunch was 2.
Yeah.
We
But
can
like,
all agree on
if
that.
they kept Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul alive
Why?
and had
No.
them actually developed as characters,
The
it
first
could've
movie's
been
the
awesome.
worst. Are you kidding me?
No, it's not. The first movie's a solid
Yeah.
movie. It's not a
No,
good
it's
Star
not.
Wars movie.
Okay,
It's a
the
good
fuck
movie.
are you
It's not a
talking
good
the
Star
prequels.
Wars.
The first
Oh my
one
God.
is
It's
not
a good
terrible.
movie, but it's
The
not a
second
good
one is
Star
terrible.
Wars movie.
The third one is just like
The third one's okay.
Third one and the first
Third
one
one's
is
good.
Star
I
Wars
like the third one.
the third one and the
The
first
third
one
one's
are
an
okay, but I think the first one I'd rather watch because it's funny. Well, the third one is just completely dark and morbid, and it's like I don't want to watch this because it's upsetting and it's actually like depressing.
They literally kill like a bunch of kid Jedis, and they're like, "Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing
People
that
have so
happened."
many complaints about the third movie. That the final fight scene with Anakin and
It's
Obi-Wan's like 45 minutes long.
Yeah,
I don't think that's that much of a problem.
it is a problem.
I honestly didn't.
Because it's not just them for 45 minutes, cutting back and forth between like Padme.
Yeah.
It she's like dead.
Wow. Thanks for spoiling.
Spoilers, man! Come on,
She's not
that
dead,
movie's
but,
10 years
like, she
old.
is dead.
That movie's 10 years
the
old.
movie
How
doesn't
old do
cut
you
to her
feel?
because she kind
Oh
of
my
like gets like
God.
choked out and then thrown on the ground, and then like they
I
fight
remember
for
when that came
45
out.
minutes. They actually fight for 45 minutes like nonstop. Like I think there may be a little bit of cutting, but it's
No, there's a lot of cutting, Justin.
and then the thing is,
Give it some credit. He's not an idiot that's like 45 minutes of them fighting lightsabers.
I think Hayden Christensen kind of screwed up the role.
I don't know why they
Yeah,
cast him.
they could have done a better job.
They wanted to get a cast of people that I don't know why, but they didn't get a cast of people that were unknown. They really should have done that, but instead they plugged like Liam Neeson and like Samuel
Well, I think
L.
Liam
Jackson in
Neeson's
there. Like,
character could have been awesome if
Well,
they kept him alive.
he was the best part.
Yeah,
Of the
they
movie,
should have kept
I'd
him
say.
alive. Could you imagine if like Anakin rose up above Obi-Wan and killed Qui-Gon Jinn? How
Could you
that
imagine if
would've
the Star Wars
affected it?
movies were rated R and Samuel L. Jackson was allowed to swear, say whatever he wanted?
It wouldn't have been any different.
Motherfucking Siths on this motherfucking planet.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
So going back to Ghostbusters.
I don't really mind that
Why?
because Paul Feig is directed to attack. He did Bridesmaids and I believe he did The Heat also.
I've heard good things about Bridesmaids. The Heat I heard.
Bridesmaids is it's a pretty good movie. I like Bridesmaids.
It's a very funny movie.
The thing
it's
is,
funny.
Melissa McCarthy is like done the same role in every single movie.
Yup,
and
that's the only
she
thing I have
was
a problem with
very-
the new Ghostbusters.
Like, in Bridesmaids, everyone loved her, but then it's the same role over and over again. It's getting very old
Yeah.
very fast, and it's like do
Well,
something.
you
different.
guys didn't see her on Mike and Molly,
Yeah. Well,
where she's actually that's where she's.
I mean, I've
known
seen her
for,
in a few
really.
movies, and they're just not funny. Like,
Well, her movie gigs
Like-
are all the
like
same,
Tammy?
and they're getting
Well, her
Tammy
movie
was, like,
roles are essentially
disgusting.
the same thing.
like Bridesmaids, Tammy, The Heat. Those are like all the same
and
characters.
Identity
and
Like
it's annoying.
Theft.
The
Yeah,
thing
Identity
is,
Thief also.
Like on Mike and Molly, she actually is a normal person, and they actually like. I don't watch the show, but apparently she acts normal, and she doesn't like act like this slob kind of person. But I've seen her on Bridesmaids. When she was on SNL, she was probably I think she won an award for her appearance on SNL because she was so funny. And I actually watched it. She was hilarious when she was on.
She's like,
And on Mike and Molly, it's a good show from what I could see. It's not like a shitty sitcom that like I don't know why it's still running from what I can tell.
True.
well, I don't like her in movies except for Bridesmaids,
Yeah.
but
Well, if she acts differently, like if she
like
acts
Kristen
normal
Wiig's
and
also
funny,
in the movie, and I actually like Kristen Wiig. I don't really. She's funny.
yeah, I don't. Well, everybody thinks she's funny in my opinion. I don't know anybody who doesn't think she's funny.
Who else is in that movie?
Maya, what's her face from SNL?
Maya Rudolph.
Yeah, that's what it is. And
Yeah,
I
I
can't
like her.
remember who the other person was.
You're talking about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
new movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I may see it. I don't know.
I think that's who was in it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of like movie news and stuff, there was a lot of stuff that came out today. Like, they announced that Joel Kinnaman is going to be playing Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movie.
Ooh.
He's a
Oh no, it's
smaller actor. He's known for a few things like The Killing, RoboCop, Safe House, Easy Money. I think Easy Money was probably his biggest role. But that should be
Yes.
exciting.
What was it, Danny?
it's Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon.
Oh, why did I think Maya Rudolph was in it then? I have
don't know,
no
she's
idea.
from SNL.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Kristen Wiig is the only one from SNL, isn't she? In that movie? I don't know. At least she has a career.
Okay.
A lot of people from SNL just like don't ever do anything after
Well,
SNL.
That's not true. There's a lot of people who've gotten big off of SNL.
Well, yeah, but there are also a lot of people who never really do
Yeah,
shit.
but I mean, they probably make enough money off of SNL that they're like, yeah, I'm good. See you.
How do you make money after you leave SNL?
No, they probably were
Like,
like, I'm
other
done
than,
with
like,
the spotlight
selling-
for now. I'm gonna go do something small with my life.
Wow. I'm going to do something small with my life because I don't want to be famous anymore. That's exactly what everybody's like. Yeah.
So, do you guys have an opinion on the Joel Kinnaman story, or not really?
No.
Cool.
Who's Joel
I
Kinnaman?
just talked about who Joel Kinnaman was, bro. He's an actor.
Well, talk about
He's
him
a
again.
Swedish actor who was known for his role in Easy Money, and he's been in a few movies that have been very popular. You know, like Safe House,
No.
RoboCop, stuff like that.
RoboCop.
Yeah, the remake.
Never saw it.
Yeah, and he was in The Killing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. He's Swedish.
Nice. You know who is also Swedish?
Oh, hey, sorry. I had to I just had to go for a second. My RA was actually knocking on my door, and I just had to talk to him for a minute. So,
Oh,
And
so did you hear
what
my
did he
story about
want?
that Joel Kinnaman?
I heard a little bit. My roommate, or not my roommate, sorry, my RA needed to
Okay.
talk to me about stuff, so.
Third time. Joel Kinnaman is playing Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I heard. I saw that today on Reddit. I heard a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Opinions?
I heard he was in RoboCop.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've heard. I've seen his name in,
Yeah.
and I'm actually I haven't seen that movie yet, but Wasn't he in some TV
He was
show?
in The Killing. I just said this.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was gone
I
for a
understand.
minute.
No, but Matt's
Third
like, yeah, I
time.
didn't hear you, and I went over everything with him, and then I'm like, is Danny not even here? And then you came back. I'm like, oh well.
Nice.
I said hold on. Like
I didn't know.
I was trying to
Well, we were just.
I was
gonna
trying to
sit
make
here.
my absence go unnoticed.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Me and Danny were talking on Friday about how Unfinished Business made like 1 point,
Oh,
I think 1.8 million.
If
Wow,
you want to get
that
into
money.
box office this weekend,
Yeah,
this weekend
it made
was very
$4.8 million in the whole weekend, which is terrible for
at 2,700 theaters too.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
ridiculous.
Oh, and what movie? What movie ended up getting horrible reviews again?
Chappie.
good. Chappie.
Chappie.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chappie opened
Neil
to like
Blom.
13.8 or something.
13.3, I believe.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And that's kind of even more disappointing than Unfinished Business, if you ask me.
Well, because I was actually kind of looking forward to it, because it looks like a movie I
Chappie
might
was
see.
a movie where I told
If it
Danny
was
like the
good.
second I saw the trailer, I'm like, I'd probably go see it, but I can tell this movie's not going to be that good. And he's like, why? It looks awesome. I'm like, I don't know. There's something about it. I think it's going to not play out that well. And
I was first seeing reviews that were all saying like, "Oh, this is another step down in Neil Blomkamp's career." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "They're," because Neil Blomkamp, the director of Chappie, he also directed District 9 and Elysium, which I love. District 9. District 9 is a fantastic movie, probably one of the best sci-fi movies within the past like at least 10, 15 years. And Elysium's very okay.
Elysium's
I
good
don't-
for everything but the story.
Yeah, like
if it
the story
movie
is
just
only
needed
like
an
kind of crappy part.
solid story and it would have been better. But I remember we talked about it in I think October.
I don't mind
about the
Elysium though.
movie,
Elysium's
and
alright.
we had this conversation about why I just didn't think the movie was going to be good, and I don't know what it is about the movie. I thought it looked kind of stupid, and it wasn't really.
The marketing for the movie was really weird because like
Well.
first they showed it off as like a like
I thought the movie was going to be about them making Chappie, and then Chappie getting like really angry against people and just murdering people, and that's not what the movie is about. It's like weird.
they kind of showed it off as like a short circuit like movie kind of.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. They didn't market that film very like well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, a lot of movies aren't marketed well because they give away a lot of stuff.
Well, marketing.
you remember
No,
that
giving away stuff was not a problem for this movie. For
Well,
what
yeah,
people
no,
said.
giving away isn't really a problem for something like this because the movie, nobody really knows what it is. So you're like, oh, you're.
It was just
seeing
giving
scenes
stuff
from
away
it.
that didn't really, because I've heard a lot of people say that the final product of the movie was kind of like nothing what they showed in the trailers.
Yeah. Speaking of giving stuff away, there was a new Avengers.
We talked about
trailer.
this a lot last
Yeah,
week.
we talked about
Ooh.
this a lot. There's a new Avengers trailer that came out Thursday. I did not watch it because I don't want to know what it's about.
Yeah, same. I'm not watching
Like,
any
people were
Avengers
talking
stuff
about it,
until the
how
movie
it like
comes out.
shows like so much that wasn't shown in the first two trailers, which were almost identical. And I'm like, the movie will be out so soon. Why do I want to see this? I already bought my tickets for the movie.
Oh, did you guys hear about the 11 movie marathon, the 27-hour thing that AMC and Regular are doing with the Avengers
I
movies?
saw when I bought my tickets. They're doing the 11 movie marathon at four. AMC's doing it at 4
that-
different theaters throughout the country.
Everything from every movie, starting with Iron Man until,
Yeah.
and they're ending it with Ultron.
Yeah,
I
And
think
that also
that's a good
includes
idea.
they're also showing Guardians too.
yeah. Well, it's included
Which
in
even
the
is-
chronology.
Chronological
But they're not, like, directly
order.
Words.
They're not directly
Words
like
are
connected
hard,
yet
okay?
though. So, all right.
Yeah, and Marvel also, or James Gunn, speaking of Guardians of Marvel, said that Marvel's not going to be at Comic-Con this year, which is really surprising since they've been there every year, like with a huge presence since 2006.
Well,
And people were like, why
like
wouldn't they
Mar-
go? But they did announce a ton of movies. They really don't have a lot of news. Plus, Star Wars is going to be a thing at the end of the year. They kind of want to hype
The
that
thing
up.
is, like Marvel not going to Comic-Con is like Riot not going to PAX. It's like you really can't imagine it because they're usually like this huge, big entity kind of.
Well,
a
Ken,
part
what
of
do you
it.
know? Riot was not at PAX East this year.
The thing is with Marvel not at San Diego Comic-Con, it's like you look at them and you're like, they're such a big part of it. But then if they're gone, I think it's just like Star Wars is going to be the new Marvel, because Star Wars hasn't been huge at a Comic-Con in the last in the recent future, because Star Wars hasn't been
Yeah,
like a
I
thing.
don't-
And
I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure there's been enough people.
yeah, no,
cosplaying
it's been
that
big,
a big
but
enough
it's probably
deal.
going to be as big as like Marvel will be without Marvel actually officially being there. Like, there's still be a lot of Marvel like people and like just cosplayers and stuff, but Star Wars is going to have a huge presence because the movie's going to be coming out in like a few months after it. and there's gonna be probably a lot of news about the movie, and it's probably gonna be a lot of just fun revolving around that.
Well, do you guys expect this Star Wars movie to actually be good?
And I think it's gonna make a
Yes,
shit
I
ton
do.
of movie. Money.
I was very skeptical at first, but after the trailers and stuff, and like the
Well,
people who are attached to it, I'm pretty
So
confident.
if you go back and look at the Phantom Menace trailer, it just shows all the characters, and it looks just goofy as hell. And it's like, oh, this movie looks like it's gonna be like action movie that's just gonna be like something new. But if you watch like the Force Awakens trailer, it's like this feels like Star Wars. Like
Yeah, and they show almost nothing in
yeah,
that trailer.
Which
yeah,
is
'cause
good.
I think there's a new trailer coming out with Avengers, and if it's in theaters, I'll watch it. But I know nothing about the movie. I know like some rumors people were talking about, but like I just want to go into that movie and see like a Star Wars movie in theaters and just be like, wow. Because
Just be like, wow.
I remember seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters, and it was like such an awkward experience because like it was Star Wars. I'm like, I want to like this, but I was like, I don't like what I'm watching, and it just felt like just such a drag. And I think that seeing like 7's gonna be crazy. Like once that movie like tickets go on sale and stuff, I'm gonna buy tickets right away just because I know they're gonna sell out so quickly. And like people are just gonna line up for hours for that movie, and people are going to dress up and go to that movie. It's gonna be fun.
Well, I mean, when we went to go see like The Dark Knight Rises, there was a guy dressed up as Batman.
Yeah, we got a selfie or a picture
True.
with Batman.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't
I
wearing
actually
hockey
don't know.
hockey
I
pants.
don't know about costumes now. Movies ever since.
No, they're allowed to wear
What
costumes.
happened
They're
with
just not
Dark Knight
allowed
Rises?
to wear masks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, if you were just wear a Star Wars like robe with like a lightsaber, you can do that. And a lot of people are doing that. I know Brendan actually said he wanted to dress up for the premiere. So
What, is he going to be Yoda?
yeah, he's just gonna paint his face. It's
Oh,
fine.
wow.
Just paint his face. Just go like that. Just talk like he does. It'll be fun.
So
It'll be
anyway,
classy.
any other movies you want to talk about?
Movies. I mean, I really want to see It Follows, which comes out soon.
What's that
It's
about?
a horror movie, basically, where it's like the ghost is a sexually transmitted disease, and after this girl has a strange sexual
Boo!
encounter,
I'm going to give you herpes.
she gets haunted by this ghost, and apparently the movie is really good because it's at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah. No, it sounds so stupid, and I was like,
Bull! I am walking
And then-
chlamydia.
man, like I
don't know why I have a
heard about
Russian
the movie,
accent.
I was like, this makes no sense. It's at 98% right now with 46 reviews, which is like fantastic. 'Cause
I
you
am
don't see
going
horror
to give
movies,
you
never see horror movies like this.
hepatitis.
It says
I am chlamydia.
It says smart, original, and above all terrifying. It Follows is the rare modern horror film that works on multiple levels and leaves a lingering sting. Like that just sounds awesome. And
That sounds like an
yeah,
STD.
they call it striking.
Yeah,
and, like,
lingering
the movie was
sting.
so
That does sound
underrated
quite like an
'cause
STD.
It just wasn't a big deal. Oh, you know what I can look up? I actually wanted to just talk about this. There was a list of like horror movies that are gonna be coming out this year that are gonna be like very popular, like horror movies, because there's
Like
been
good
horror movies every year. Like you see the stupid horror movies like the marked ones or like Devil's
What would
Due.
you say was the last good horror movie that you saw?
The Babadook.
I didn't see the Babadook.
I
but
mean,
I've heard
before
of
that-
things.
I don't know. Like before that,
What was the movie that we
Sinister?
all saw together?
Maybe The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Conjuring was
I
really-
didn't. I
was
didn't
a
realize.
really-
I didn't like The Conjuring that much.
I was
but-
talking about The Conjuring a couple days ago. How The Conjuring, it wasn't as scary as it,
It
was.
did a good
it was just-
job
that
as-
movie is the definition of tension. Like if you want to
Yeah,
feel
that's
tension,
what I was saying.
like,
I
go to that
love
movie.
movies that can make me feel tense and not have to like use
Like
jump
even the
scares to
movie
get my-
ended and it feels like you're like ready for a pop up or something and nothing pops up and you're like, wow, that like movie just like terrified me. But speaking of horror movies that are coming out this year, there's supposed to be a lot of good ones.
There's supposed to be a Sinister too. Is that?
I think that's supposed to be coming out this year.
Although it's like got none of the stars from the first movie.
yeah, but-
The same different director,
mean,
different writer. So
it
I don't know
hasn't
if
been
I'll
like
see that movie.
talked about really. It's may come out this year, but Rob Zombie's latest movie called 31 is about killer clowns,
Oh,
where
boy.
5 people are forced to compete in a game called 31, where the objective is to kill or be killed. They're pitted against a gang of violent clowns known as the Heads, and are given 12 hours to survive a man-made abattoir called Murder World. This is from ScreenRant.com. There's another movie called can't even speak today. Cooties, which features Elijah Wood, Rainn Wilson, and Leigh Whannell. And this is a zombie movie for kids, basically, right, guys? Sounds fun, right?
A zombie movie for kids?
Where it's basically a zombie movie about kids who become infected with a virus and turn into bloodthirsty monsters. So it's like all the kids in the world become zombies, and it's like the adults are like, you know.
Well, that's actually like kind of like the opposite of a book that I read in middle school, where it's like
that-
all the adults get like some disease and like all the kids age 13 and under like are immune. It's like the reverse of that.
I feel like I read something like that too.
Yeah, in middle school because we all went to the same school.
What book are you talking about?
I have no
You're
idea.
talking about the society with that girl who. Oh my
Yeah.
god, what is that called?
I don't know.
Oh my god, that book.
I gotta ask Mr.
I
Dano.
remember reading that, and like they had a society, or like they had different cities. I remember that book. We read that.
Wasn't the girl who owned a city?
I don't think so.
I think it was.
The girl who owned a city.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think that's actually the book. I can remember the cover of it. Yeah, that should be it.
Ooh, my memory's strong.
Might be
Ooh,
right.
high five, Danny. Internet high five.
Thanks. I remember
Oh,
that.
man.
The
a
girl like
throwback.
gets drunk
Yeah,
on whiskey
yeah, I
at
think
the
that's
end.
it. I
She
think
gets
that's
like
right.
shot. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it reminded me of Lord of the Flies, and I was like, yeah, similar. We have Insidious Chapter 3 coming out this year, too, which, I mean, I'm kind of excited for. Insidious is,
I saw the trailer and I wasn't very impressed.
You know.
So I don't know.
I'm like, whatever. There's actually another Frankenstein movie coming out, which you're like, hey, why would you want to go see a Frankenstein movie? But this one features James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe, and it's actually told from the perspective of Igor.
So Daniel
That's
Radcliffe is gonna be Frankenstein.
No, he's actually
Interesting.
Radcliffe.
Who plays Frankenstein? Who plays the wretch?
I think
Nice pause.
Yeah,
Daniel
nice, solid
Radcliffe
second
plays
pause.
Igor, and James McAvoy is actually playing Frankenstein.
He played Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Does he play Dr. Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Because people are retarded and don't know that Frankenstein is not the monster. Dr. Frankenstein is the name of the doctor who makes
the monster is called the monster.
or the wretch. That's what they call him in the book, in Mary Shelley's book.
Yeah.
The monster.
I think the horror movie I'm most excited for, though, this year is Krampus, which comes out November 27th.
I
And
haven't even heard of this
You
movie.
probably have never heard of this, but it's one of those very niche horror movies because it's about a creature from Alpine folklore. But it's the first film that Michael Dowtry has made since 2007's cult hit Trick or Treat, which I personally love that movie. It's one of the most underrated horror films I've ever seen. It's fantastic. But this movie just looks awesome, and it's sure to be great.
Sure
Have you guys
to
seen
be.
Trick or Treat?
I don't know.
Sure.
No, I have not.
No, but I think it's on HBO.
It is on
Go,
HBO.
which has come to the PS4.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
boy.
awesome. There's so much to watch on that. It's just great.
I know.
Like Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
with
Already
season
watched
2. I'm hyped
Yeah.
for that. I'm so looking forward. I loved Silicon Valley's
I need to
first
finish.
season.
I need to
so
finish
excited.
season 1. It starts the same day as Game of Thrones. What was I gonna say? HBO Go is now on PlayStation. Obviously, HBO Now is gonna be starting soon.
Well, it's on PlayStation 4. It
Yeah,
was on PS3
PlayStation
already.
4. HBO Now is actually.
Why it took them so long to
Oh
get
my God,
to
Danny.
PS4, I have no clue.
Don't cut me off.
oh my
bud.
God.
Okay.
Don't cut me off.
Hey, he's the host. He can
Listen,
do
you
what
cut
he
me off
wants.
like 3 times already this podcast.
Bro,
Relax.
bro,
Yes,
I've been
you're like the
considerate.
king of cut. You're the king of cutting people off. I'm gonna have to edit your voice out of all
so,
of that stuff.
HBO Now is a service that is launching soon, which is going to be like standalone HBO if you don't have cable or whatever, and it's going to be $15 a month for everything HBO offers. I mean, it's a pretty good service.
See, this is what everybody's been asking for since the beginning. Just make it standalone.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
That's all
nice
they
having it
wanted.
with cable and everything.
I'm glad they didn't make it like stupidly expensive.
I mean, $15
like,
is still a good amount, but you know.
$50 a month. I would have been like, okay, guy, that's a little much, but still, like, it's better than buying like Blu-rays of everything that you're gonna watch from HBO. It makes a lot. It's a lot better, and I already have it, so it doesn't even matter.
Final thing. I'm actually going to be able to see the first episode of season 5 of Game of Thrones 2 weeks early because my school is awesome and is having a special premiere on March 29th.
And you're gonna talk all about it.
I feel like knowing how a Game of Thrones episode ends 2 weeks before everyone else is going to be very bad.
That's like
it's like a loaded
such a
gun.
dick move.
It's literally Everyone
It's
I
like,
know
I
watches
have
Game of
this
Thrones,
valuable
and I'm
piece
like
of
the
information.
only one who's gonna know this, and I'm like, blackmail.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you better do this for me, or else I'm gonna spoil the first episode for you. Which probably, by the way, nothing's gonna happen in that episode except maybe like some plot setup.
The first episodes usually aren't that big, but I mean, last
First
season
episode,
4,
everybody dies.
Season 4 had a pretty big first episode that led into a pretty big second episode. So it should be very exciting, and spoilers, I guess, for
No,
the future.
I didn't watch it yet. I only watched like 2.5 episodes.
Go watch Game of Thrones, bro. It's like the best.
I've got a midterm tomorrow. I don't have time.
How about
I'll
this?
do it
Next
during
week, we're
I'll
gonna
do it
watch
during
Game of
spring
Thrones.
break. Exactly.
Don't we have to?
Right.
Oh, Matt, you know what?
We have to
you know what
watch
we need
the
to watch
freaking
next
other
week?
movie.
You know what?
The Captain
yeah,
America.
we're watching that next week because you've never seen it.
See, it was from the first podcast where we said that, right?
I don't know. I talked to you a couple weeks ago about it, and I'm like, I'm bringing this
Yeah,
home.
we said it on the podcast though. That we said we were gonna watch.
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
See, I remember.
I don't know.
Man, my memory.
Memories. Summer breeze.
Shoddy.
No, not replay. Summer breeze.
No. I don't get it.
Going through the distance on my mind. Alright, I'm not gonna even try. I can't do
Please
that.
don't. Anyway,
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
I think I'm good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, it's been an hour and a half, so I think this is a solid podcast.
Danny, you good for rapping? You good? You know how to rap?
You know how to
Yeah.
rap?
Yeah, lyrical, spherical, miracle, individual.
Oh, he's spitting that hot fire, but he ain't a rapper.
Just throwing the bills.
I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Oh, I'm gonna stop. Okay, but
Just put a bunch of Jay-Z and like Kanye photos on top of it and be like,
no, put some filthy Frank pictures on that part.
I'll just have
just put,
Danny and then Photoshop
No,
some
just-
money dollar bills all over his body.
or you can put like Pink Guy on there.
True.
Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. Mom spaghetti.
So are we rapping?
Yep. All right. So follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter for the podcast, which is at Amigops Podcast. Then we have all three of our individual Twitters. I actually just put my Twitter off of private, so you don't have to request to follow me anymore, ladies.
Ooh.
Justin is at Justin's iPod 3.
Yeah.
Matt is at Matty Fredge.
Which is spelled MATTYFREG, not
And
DGE. It's a soft G.
Yeah. Like
Soft
GIF
G.
or GIF
and
or
I'm
GIF.
and I am at Tussalophagus. All three of our Twitters are actually in the bio for the Amigops podcast, so you can just hit them. from
True.
there.
And you can also access our SoundCloud page on our Twitter.
So for right now, our SoundCloud page is we only have the most current podcast
true.
up on SoundCloud. That's because we only have like the free version of SoundCloud right now. We're gonna upgrade soon, probably, so this way we can store all of our podcasts.
You can
on
watch
there.
all of our videos on our
You
YouTube
can actually,
page.
yeah, you can watch all of our videos on YouTube. So like, if you missed the first two podcasts, just go watch them on YouTube.
We should have this
on our
sorted
YouTube
out
channel.
within a week or two.
On our YouTube channel, the Three Amigops podcast, I believe, right? That's the name of it. I don't handle the YouTube. I only handle
It's
Twitter.
3 Amigops podcast.
Yes. And you can also follow us on Pinterest and Instagram.
No, we don't have those. Don't. And you
MySpace.
can add us on Snapchat
And
and Friendster.
yes.
And Origin and Razer and Steam and everything.
On
Steam.
Steam.
Xbox Live, PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Don't add us on there. We don't have those.
Add us some browsers.
Brazzers.
You got Kick. We got it.
Oh.
We got it,
Okay.
man.
Well, I had
All right. So thank
if
you
I
for.
see you on Tinder,
Just give me a smile.
Right now.
Can we just have a
Just give me-
can
just
we
give
have
me
a
a little
can we
swipe.
have a Tinder profile for all three of us, not just one of us, all three of us?
That
if you
doesn't
swipe,
work. We're in different
if you give us
locations.
Yep, I'll make one for the three of us, and I'll just make it one for the three of us with all three pictures, just with the picture of the three of us, and if like we get matched up with a girl, we have to write like, why are there three people? It's like you have to sleep with all three of us.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Okay there. Well, I had fun.
Okay there. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. We will come back to you next week with God knows what to talk about.
Thank you very much for watching or listening or
That's
whatever.
racist.
No, it's not.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.